Hey everyone, this is PHIRA, and today I thought we'll do something a little bit more fun. After my last few videos where I've given some very serious talks about whether the Traveler's Notebook is for you, whether you're Team Passport or Team Regular, I thought I'd give all of us a little bit of a break and maybe talk about my top 10 most used stationery items this quarter. This is my chance to tell my stationery addict self that money spent on these items was money well spent. Now, I'm saying my top 10 stationery items for this quarter for a very specific reason. My favorites change, and sometimes it's because my goals change, or maybe the system isn't working for me, or maybe I'm trying to get my money's worth on something I shouldn't really have bought. Okay, we've all been there. Don't lie to yourself. So, for this quarter, January to March, the focus was on goal setting, setting up my system for 2026, identifying systems that actually worked for me, and tools and objects that would help me build this habit. So, with that in mind, these are the 10 stationery items that I reached for this quarter. Now, first up are these Midori joint dots. These are marker dot pens brought out by Midori. I got these from Yodobashi during my trip to Tokyo last year, and you get a set of essentially three different highlighter colors. I believe the set that I have is called Dusty. So you've got Dusty Yellow, Dusty Pink, and Dusty Blue. You also get them in sets of 9, I believe, if you buy the whole pack. Now, in my Tokyo Stationery haul video, I remember slagging these off because they wouldn't really stamp well. You have to make sure that the page you're stamping these on is perfectly flat, otherwise you don't get a perfect circle. And I remember after that video, I just tossed these aside and I didn't really bother with them. But as I was setting up my system, my journaling system for 2026, and specifically my bullet journal, my productivity journal, I needed a highlighter that I could take with me on the go, and that's when I brought this out. And now I can't do without it. I use this highlighter to mark off the days of the week, and you could use this to habit track as well. Each color could correspond to a specific habit that you're trying to track. You could also use this as a highlighter to highlight lines in your notebook, but I find that the tip is a little too round and small to get that perfect highlight. But this has been indispensable to my bullet journaling, and I love these. This is the washi tape that I've been using consistently this quarter. This is more about design and less about function. Well, actually, let me backtrack. Function is also a part of it. Because the tape is clear, I can see whatever is underneath, and I like that because when I'm decorating the covers of my inserts or certain pages, I can layer other decorative elements under it. And from a design perspective, it's celestial. I love anything to do with planets, stars, astronomy, so I've been using this quite a bit. This washi tape by Kitta is another set that I've been loving. Now, Kitta follows a very different concept when it comes to washi tapes. You get a set of 4 in a pack. The whole USP of Kitta stickers is that it's been made for portability. You can slip this into your notebook or slip this into a bag, and it won't take up as much space as, say a bulky washi tape. I got this from Yodobashi as well, and the illustrations aren't really my cup of tea. It's not an aesthetic that I usually go for, but I love this particular set for the little bursts of motivational quotes, and I like sticking it into my journal now and then as a reminder to, say, for example, stop thinking and start moving, to not be too busy, and the future is now. Yeah, very, very deep. My other favorite stationery item that I've used this year is the Travelers Company Special New Year sticker. Now, every year, Travelers Company releases these special letterpress stickers with the theme of the year. So this year, it's Traveler's Spirit, and you get them as free gift with purchase every time you buy products above a certain limit on the US side, on the Japan side, and at the Travelers Factory stores in Japan. Now, I was initially hesitant to list this in my top 10, but I look forward to these every year. I use them to decorate my memory journal as well as my gratitude journal. So as you can see, I have the 2025 one here. I've got 2026. And once I get the one for 2027, I'm going to stick it here. Now on to my favorite notebook that I've been using this quarter. And I know what you're thinking. Obviously, it's a traveler's notebook. And you're right, I use the heck out of my traveler's notebook. I am married to the system. But plot twist, the notebook I've been loving is actually this little thing. This is the notebook I've added to my ever burgeoning list of journals. It's by an Indonesian company called Saraswati Papers. It's made from 100% recycled paper. It's blank. It's everything that I love. It's got flowers. It's got this hibiscus print on it along with gold embossing. You know, I'm a sucker for anything embossed. I bought this when I was casually browsing through a store in Bali and I didn't really know what I was going to use it for. But earlier this year, I watched a video by Daniel Pink on goal setting for the year. I'll link the video in the description box below, and I found that really insightful. Now, Daniel lists a couple of exercises that one can go through, and when I saw that, I immediately thought of this journal. I used this for the exercises that Daniel lists out. I didn't complete the exercise in one sitting. It took me a couple of weeks to sit with myself, to sit with this journal and really figure out what I want to do, what I want to achieve this year. I'm still tweaking it, but this sits at my desk and it's sort of my North Star when I want to be reminded of what I want to achieve this year. I have this with me. Now, every year, as part of the sticker set that Travelers Company releases, you get these 3 film pocket stickers. Now, I've used them in the past. I stuck this onto a leather cover. It didn't hold. I stuck this onto the cover of an insert, but because I put too many coffee cards in it, that didn't hold either. But you know where this holds really well? On plastic. This is the plastic folder for 2026. I've actually cut out the bottom because it wasn't working for me as a folder. I've actually stuck the film sticker onto this. I actually put in a lot more than you see right here, but it's held on beautifully. Now, I don't know if this is TMI, but I remember in my other video, I can't remember what it was, probably the Tokyo Stationery video. I remember thinking, oh, how cute is this little, this little mini leather man with the little wink and the little wave. And then when I stuck this on to my leather folder, I noticed that the other hand is in a very interesting position. So the little cheeky wink and the little wave has taken on a different meaning to me, but maybe that's just me. But I'm really glad that I found a use for this. In fact, I've already used up 2 of the film stickers in the 2025 set. Next, I have these brass clips from Travelers Company. Because my journals tend to get really bulky, I need something to clamp them down when I'm writing. Now, you don't need these specific brass clips to clamp down your notebook. You could always go with Penco clampy clips. They are cheaper and they come in different colors. They're made from plastic, but I kind of like these bougie ones a little bit more. And so I have these instead. Post-it notes, good old sticky post-it notes. I have a lot of these sticky notepads, these Katanuki Fusen sheets from Midori, and I love them, but I always just come back to these sticky notes. You get a lot of them. You get 100 sheets in a pack versus I think there are about 20 or so in these. Plus the paper in some of these, not all of them, they don't really work well with fountain pens or gel pens. Ink feathers, and you can't use gel pens on these ones. I have none of that fussiness with the sticky notes. They work well with all kinds of pens and I don't have to be precious about them. I can just use as much as I want and I use them assiduously in my bullet journal or / productivity journal. Now, this is something I've started to use this year. These are the Himekuri calendar stickers, and what they are is basically, as the name suggests, you've got a sticker for each day of the year. Initially, I didn't really like any of the designs Himekuri brought out this year, but I chose the best of the worst. So I chose Memory, and I've actually grown to love it. I use this in my gratitude 3-year diary, and I look forward to peeling, a day off every day and seeing the image. It makes me reflective, and that's why I think this is a fantastic addition to my gratitude journaling habit. Okay, the last item that I have been absolutely loving this quarter is the Traveler's Notebook Dated Diary in the weekly plus memo format. So there are actually two versions of the dated diary, the weekly dated diary that Traveler's Notebook comes out with. One is the weekly vertical and the other is called the weekly plus memo. I have the weekly plus memo. This is the first time I'm using this size and I have been loving it. You've got this blank page to write, the goal of the week, your shopping list, or anything to maybe supplement the tasks that you've listed on the other page. This is perfect and it allows me to brain dump everything on 2 pages instead of going back and forth between inserts, which is what I had to do with my passport version. I will do a video update on how my bullet journaling has changed when switching from the passport to the regular size. And there you have it. Those are the 10 tools and stationery items that I have been loving this past quarter. It's funny how some of them pulled themselves out of the abyss of useless stationery and actually ended up being a favorite. But now I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments below which stationery item you've been loving. Maybe one that you initially didn't like, but now it's a favorite, or vice versa, something that is completely useless but looks very pretty sitting on your desk. If you had fun hanging out and justifying our collective journaling habits, do give this video a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing if you want more videos that toe the line between helpful advice and enabling an addiction. So thank you for hanging out with me and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.